All right, man, you asked about the Texas Power Bar and the Ohio Power Bar. Really hesitant to make a full video about this, but you asked which one that I prefer and why I don't use the Ohio Power Bar as much as I probably should. This is an Eleiko bar, Texas Power Bar, Ohio Power Bar. First of all, I want to say the Ohio Power Bar is a good barbell. It is a solid barbell. This is one of the bars we will use in the rack for rack pulls. We'll use any kind of pulls from blocks. We use this for the car deadlift as well. So it takes a beating. If there's a bar, if we're doing an exercise where I can see that the bar might get damaged, this is the bar we're going to use because I need my other bars for weightlifting and for general purpose powerlifting as well as deadlifts. And I'm not going to sacrifice either one of these two bars for anything. I'm definitely not going to sacrifice my Texas squat bar as well. So this is the bar that I can sacrifice if I have to. If something bad happens to it, it's okay. It's covered in rust. Most of this rust, that's the last 3-in-1 oil treatment I did on it a few weeks ago. Most of this rust was in the first couple of weeks of having this barbell. It just completely rusted everywhere. I mean, a bad rust. I don't know how well you can see that, but that was done within the first couple of weeks of just sitting here, and it was wiped down out of the box. So I took it out of the box, covered it in 3-in-1 oil, and just sitting in the gym, it did that. So if you don't mind your bars rusting, then that's not a problem. This Texas Power Bar, you may be able to see where the last time I put oil on it, it's got a little dry spot here where the oil didn't go all the way through. But I oiled them both on the same day. This bar is about 10 years older than this one. Most of the rust, well, there's not really a lot of rust on it. I mean, I take care of my bars. Every single time that I use my bars, I take the brush and I scrub all the chalk off. You can see where some guys came and trained and covered this thing in chalk, and then they just left it. I had to leave, and they came and stuck it back over here in the corner. And then by the time that I got back, their chalk left on the bar did that. Most people think it's the humidity or whatever that destroys a bar and gives it that rust. It's not. It's the moisture on your hands, and then the chalk seals the moisture in. So, and then when it gets left in the corner, that moisture that's trapped in by the chalk is what gives you that rust. And you can see the hand and fingerprints, or at least I can, right there where it was left. And that's not coming off without a lot of vinegar, oil, and scrub brushing. And then if people are just going to continue to damage it, how much do I really want to put into it? So the Ohio Power Bar, it has the smaller collar here. It means you've got a little bit of extra space to put some more plates. I can't say that's a good thing. It's very similar to the weightlifting bar, which is very common whenever you're racking and unracking a bar in a standard rack. Having the plates closer means they're going to be closer to that rack where you're racking it, and there's a much better chance that when you go to rack it in or take it out, those plates are going to hit the rack, and it's very easy to fall. So I think having the wider collar makes a difference there. It's not necessarily worth what you think it is. It's much more aggressive on the knurling, which if you've ever used a Texas Power Bar, you don't really need much. Being more aggressive does not mean better. And I can say that when I compare the Eleiko weightlifting bar with the Rogue weightlifting bar. Now, the Eleiko weightlifting bar is much more aggressive than the Rogue weightlifting bar. But I think the Rogue weightlifting bar sticks into your hands just as good, if not better, than the Eleiko $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 barbell. So more aggressive does not always mean more better. Just means more aggressive. So this is much more aggressive in the hands, but I don't think that is a benefit. I don't think you need it. I think the pattern on this is all that you need to grip. It does have a little bit wider center knurling, which it might be better. I think it probably is better to have that, another couple of inches on that center knurling over the Texas Power Bar. It looks a little bit thicker, just a hair, maybe a millimeter, to be honest. I've had both of them on my back, same training session with 600 pounds, so roughly 270 kilograms. And the Texas Power Bar just felt better. You asked what better does it feel like? I'm not really for sure how to put it. It just feels natural. It's like playing a guitar. You always have a favorite, and you can't really say why. It just feels better when you hold it and when you play it. So for me, the standard is the Texas Power Bar. It's just the standard, and I think that it does feel better. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Ohio Power Bar, but you have to know its limitations. Mine absolutely did turn to a big ball of rust. Still spins fine with no noise inside. The grooving and the knurling is still there. The lines are perfectly lined up. It is thicker on the center knurling. Does have a thinner stop collar if that's what you want. I prefer to have the thicker one, but if that's what you want, it will do that. And it might sometimes be a little bit cheaper than the Texas Power Bar. So it's a good bar. It's just not my favorite, and it's not the one that I can sacrifice. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, let me know. And then next week when I'm back at the gym, I will shoot another video and see if I can explain it a little bit better. So I appreciate your question. I hope this helps just a little bit. Thanks.